Hi there. In this section, I'm going to start talking about the heading above, which is mind, body, spirit. So what do I mean in this section is, your diet, your mindset, and your body are just as important as taking your medicine. So everybody coming to me will be a different age, two sexes, obviously male or female, and they will be in varied states of health. In my own situation, I was a dancer and I worked out like a demon before I got sick. And I'm not trying to blow my own trumpet, but it definitely assisted me with that mindset when I got sick. And people are always a little bit shocked when I tell them that I never stopped working out. Lots of people thought I was crazy, but I don't think so. I think I was very aware that if your body is strong, you have a much better chance of fighting cancer. So the worst thing I always tell people is that you can go home after you've been given your diagnosis and just give up. When you have an illness, you have to fight it. If you don't have that fight, you won't survive. So the power of your mind and what you put in your body and what you do with your body is as important as taking your medical cannabis. In my case, when I got my diagnosis and even when I was going through the negative treatment, I never stopped my workout regimes. If you aren't fit at all, and if your body is not in a good state, I would suggest that as much as you can, you take the advice I give you on your diet and you change your diet immediately. I'm sorry you cannot do the things that you did before. My main things with your body is what you put in it, the food you eat. If you have cancer, it is likely that your body is in an acid state and your body is in shock because it has negative cells in the body that are called cancer. So we know from the other films I've made that medical cannabis is the main thing to treat your cancer, but you are the warrior. You are the army officer and you are the savior of your own life, should you want to do this. And it's very important that nobody saved my life. I did it. I'm not saying that to be arrogant, it's just a fact. No doctor has helped me. In fact, I haven't had one pill or treatment from a doctor in 6 years, apart from the odd visit to the hospital. The only time I see my oncologist, by the way, is for my MRI results. And they do support my results, absolutely, in that one treatment failed and one worked. They also comment on my health and the way I am. And I'm not trying to load you with pressure, but you must know that if you're sick, you now have to treat your body and get it as well as you can to fight your cancer. So in the next section, I'm going to go into a little more detail of diet and what I do on a daily basis and a sort of average day in what I take. But for now, I will tell you that if your body is in an acid situation, you need to alkaline. So the general things is no alcohol. If you're on medical cannabis, it doesn't mix anyway. Alcohol is terrible for you and it's full of sugar. And on that point of taking sugar, sugar feeds your cancer cells. So sugar feeds your cancer. So the obvious thing for you to do at the beginning of your treatment is to remove sugar from your diet immediately. If you have a really sweet tooth like I have, and I did eat a lot of sweeties before, but I didn't from the day I got diagnosed, because I went into this like a woman warrior. The name powers I'm living up to. I went straight into my research on alkalining the body. So no sugar, because sugar feeds your cancer. If you want to treat, have 100% dark chocolate, or there are lots of little treats in health food shops now that taste sweet because they've got dates in them or honey, or natural occurring sugars are okay, but in moderation. So really, when you're on this 3-month period of healing your body, you really want to remove sugar from your diet. I'm sorry, I know it's not fun, but neither is having cancer. So you have to stop eating sugar. It's very bad for you. It is in all alcohol. It is in most foods. So you need to start looking at what you're buying and looking at what you're eating. If you are a packet food person, chuck it in the microwave or the oven, I would really suggest that you start to look at getting someone to help you or to cook for you. Now, in my case, I don't have sugar, dairy. I don't eat wheat, but I haven't eaten wheat for 20-something years. That is entirely up to you. I live off spelt bread and rye bread and dark bread. I also do not have any red meat from the day I was diagnosed. So no red meat. In the beginning, I ate quite a lot of chicken and fish. Now I really only eat fish. Very rarely do I eat chicken, because I believe a Jamaican man told me in Notting Hill, where I live, that it's not chicken anymore, it's chicken. And he said in Jamaica it takes a year for a chicken to grow properly. So if you think about how quickly a chicken is produced all over the world, they're most likely pumped full of water and hormones and everything else, which is why it's very important that you understand the importance of what you're putting in your body. So what you can replace your protein with is lots of grains and lots of alkalining food. Nuts are a huge source of protein. I do eat fish, that's protein, but I will give you a list of foods that are good for your body and foods that are bad, following on from this. But the general rule of thumb, as I just said, is please, no alcohol. You are on medical cannabis, it does not mix, and alcohol is very, very bad for your body. But again, I have a lot of people who are a little bit older and they have their habits. If you must have a glass of wine, keep it to a minimum and a gift, maybe, I'm not very happy about it, but once a week if you absolutely have to. You have to have a little bit of fun. And the rule of thumb is also a little bit of what you fancy, when you fancy it, within very small margins you're allowed. So if you want something sweet, have something that is a natural sweet after dinner, not a sugary a dessert. It's very, very important that people understand that your exercise and your food and your mindset are a huge part of you getting well. And I want to reiterate, if you think you can, you will. If you think you can't, you won't. It's really, really simple. And I thought I could, and against all doctors and everybody that meets me who still tells me I'm a walking, I don't know what, miracle or freak. I'm here because I was diligent about what my thoughts were, what I put in my body, and what I do with my body. So just to touch on the body bit, if you're not fit, you can start today. Just going for a 20-minute walk will enhance your mood and keep your energy up. So if you can't do anything else, please commit to half an hour's walk 3 times a week. It will really lift you. If you can do that every day, it would be brilliant if you don't do anything else. If you can lift some weights or do yoga or Pilates. In my case, I'm a Pilates freak, and I dance and I walk about 1.5 to 3 miles every day. largely because they took my car away when I had my brain tumor. So I walk everywhere, and it's very good for your soul, and it lifts your mood, and it strengthens your body. So I'm being as general as I can, because I do understand everybody has a different life path, they're in a different state of health, and everybody has a different opinion and a different mindset. So again, this is just my advice, and why I believe I am still alive is because I didn't give up. I exercise pretty much every day of my life, whether it be a walk or an hour in Pilates or yoga. I dance at home where nobody can see me, that kind of dancing. And I go for a walk as often as I can. Going to the woods is probably the most healing thing you could ever do for your mind and your body. Looking at the trees, if you have a pet, take your pet for a walk. Being around animals, by the way, is wonderful for your health. So anything that takes you outside and takes you away from your negative diagnosis is good for you. The worst thing you can do is to just give up and stay at home. And another tip I give everybody that comes to me is I never watch anything negative. Not the news, not a negative film. I wouldn't ever watch a horror or anything that's too political or would fill my brain with anything negative. So I watch a lot of comedy and a lot of romance, and I hang around positive people. If you have negativity in your life or negative people around you, you must get rid of them. It's essential for you and essential for your healing journey that you're surrounded by positivity, not negativity. And if you are having a low day, just come back on here and hopefully I'll cheer you back up in a couple of secs. Anyway, I hope this is helpful. I'm going to go into a little more detail about your daily diet and give you an example of what I eat in a day. You can take it or leave it, but I hope it helps you. Okay, love powers.